Alright, so I don't really understand this. Like, why is this still a controversy? Like the whole mask wearing policy. Like, you know, you hear about stuff in the news about. I understand that there's a low mortality rate with the coronavirus. I understand why people think, but the seriousness of it is that it's not a joke. And like, you have people out here. You had a in Florida a whole police department that banned their officers wearing masks. Like that doesn't even make any sense. Cause like everybody needs to wear a mask. I mean, I get it. Like people are talking about their freedom and they should have the right to choose, but at some point, like that's just not the case with this. Like you're infringing on other people's health and their rights when you just decide not to wear a mask. Like it's like washing your hands. Like you don't wash your hands, you deserve to get fired from your job. You deserve to, you know, because like I said, you're putting other people at risk. And yeah, even though it's your freedom to do whatever you want to, but you're putting other people at risk. You're infringing on other people's rights because you're gonna make them sick. Same with this. Like I said, the person's not wearing a mask in the store, they deserve to be kicked out. Now, honestly, I mean, if I see somebody not wearing a mask, I mean, I'm not gonna act all crazy and insane like some of these people are. That's stupid. But you know, I think it should be addressed that we shouldn't. Everybody should just be wearing a mask in the store. Like you see situations where like some of the there was a viral picture at a school in Georgia, and like it was a whole bunch of kids in the hallway. A lot of them weren't wearing a mask, and now they got COVID cases in that school. Like that just doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. I think I'm not saying that we need to lock it down and do all the lockdown nonsense. Cause obviously we shouldn't. Like I think everybody understands the severity of the situation. We're dealing with like a virus that does have a small mortality rate, but it still can kill a lot of people though. You know, it still can. So we can't overestimate this virus, but we can't underestimate it either. And I think some people are overestimating it. They're doing too much. They want to stay inside their houses and stay locked up forever. And I think that's unnecessary. But then you also have other people who are just acting like ain't nothing going on. And I think we have to be careful not to overestimate or underestimate what we're dealing with here. It's like I just see, you got police departments out here banning masks. I mean, school started back up. Students are going back to school with no masks. All that. I mean, that's just stupid. I mean, I'm all for going back to school and going back to college and being on campus and doing all that fun stuff. But we can't overestimate, but we also don't want to underestimate the situation because you're just putting people at risk. And I know a lot of people are not at risk. Probably the majority are not at risk of dying, not at risk of getting really sick. Most people die outright. Probably won't show any symptoms of this virus, but still, like I know a lot of people live with their elders. I know a lot of people live around people who have pre-existing conditions who are at risk. So a lot of kids I know a lot of kids, including myself, that were raised by their grandparents. So you have that to worry about. So when you live around elderly people, especially in the black community, I mean, we have a lot of people who have diabetes. We have a lot of people who have high blood pressure or something of that nature. Just got pre-existing conditions who are at risk. So it is something that you have to take seriously. Cause I mean, I've gone into stores, and you got people not wearing masks and acting like this thing that the media is playing with. I understand, you know, the media has been very problematic in this whole situation because The media has a tendency to overhype things, over exaggerate things, and I get it. But I think the important thing is we can't overestimate the situation, because if we do, we'll destroy our economy, and that's true. Like, we can't just stay stuck in our houses all the time. That's not a good thing. But we also can't ignore it and live life normally as if there's no pandemic going on. But just important. I think people just need to use their common sense and like pay attention to what's going on. Like, listen to the doctors. You know. I know some people like listen to the politicians, but like you gotta listen to like everything. You gotta open up and just soak it all in. Listen, and just use your common sense the best way you can, because I know people got common sense. Come on, at least I hope so. But I think that's just what needs to happen. I said when kids go back to school, they need to practice social distancing. They need to wear the mask. They need to. I understand for young children. I mean, hopefully that's not too difficult to do. But I think the responsibility falls on the parents and the teachers and the adults to just keep everybody safe. Because I mean, I feel like this is a situation that we can easily get through if we just do the right things right now. Like, we can't ignore it anymore. There's a lot of people who have ignored this pandemic, who have who not think it's a joke and all that kind of stuff. I think we gotta put it into that. Like, this isn't about politics. This isn't about who you want for president, who you want, and all this nonsense. This isn't about that. This is about public health and people's lives. Like, people's lives are at risk right now. I think it's kind of important that we just pay attention and use our common sense for real. And like I've been saying, like, don't overestimate it. You don't have to stay at home all the time. Keep yourself locked up, acting like it's the apocalypse or that kind of nonsense. But we also need to not underestimate and, act like there's nothing going on. Like, this is just another whatever, Because, I mean, I think everybody's understanding, like, flu season is on its way, as we know it, And, I can't imagine flu and corona season all mixed together. I mean, sounds pretty scary, but hopefully we can get things back together by then. We won't have any issues, but we will have issues if you have too many people who aren't taking things seriously, aren't wearing their masks. Like I said, it's not a political thing anymore. Like I said, the whole mask thing, it's not a political thing. Like, quit with all the politics. Forget that. Like, this isn't about politics. I don't care whether you're conservative or liberal. This ain't about that. This is about public safety, public health. It's just like washing your hands. There's nothing political about it at this point. It's already been proven. So just stop all the political nonsense. Just use your common sense, man. Use your common sense and do the right thing. We'll be safe. We'll get through this together.